so we're gonna do the top 5 things that I wouldn't do if I was starting a scratch independent insurance agency today. Okay, so the number one thing I wouldn't do if I was starting a scratch independent insurance agency is I would not start the agency with no money. You've got to have money in the bank to start the agency today. There's gonna be way more expenses than you think. I started with a little bit amount of money in 2019. Don't know that I would start an agency with that small amount again today, but starting with money allows you to do number 2. Number 2 is I would not start without staff. Okay, here's the thing when you start an insurance agency, okay? You either have to staff up in the beginning or staff up a few years down the road. Okay, here's what happens when you start with no staff. You start with no staff, it allows you to get profitable faster, but what happens, you eventually get to the point to where you're bottlenecked, okay? And you have to do one of 2 things. You have to either take a step back in income, okay, and redivert those monies to hire people, which is really, really hard because you've already gotten accustomed to a certain income level or certain profitability level, right? You have to pull those monies away to hire people, right? That hurts, right? Or you have to stifle your growth because you get to the point to where only one man or one person can do so much and you can't hire anybody else. So, or you can't grow anymore because you don't have the capacity. So I wouldn't start without people, okay? The third thing I wouldn't do kind of falls in line. I would not start without a virtual assistant, okay? There's umpteen virtual assistant companies out there. There's direct options as well. It allows you to be a lot more nimble and have someone else handle the back office that you don't have to, and it allows you to be a lot faster and almost run the agency like a company from the very beginning. 4, I would not start an agency with shiny object syndrome. But a lot of people do because they've wanted to own an insurance agency forever. They've wanted to start their own agency forever. They go up and they sign up with every tech vendor under the sun, which is a mistake, right? You don't need the customer experience things that are important as you grow right when you start, right? Portal, as you guys know, we are big on customer experience, but in the beginning, we didn't do any of that customer experience stuff, right? We're trying to get business on the books so we can pay the bills so we can keep the lights on and not go out of business, right? I wasn't worried about NPS or postcards. Like Shelby out here does a thing for us. Whenever we write a client that's more than $10,000 in premium, we send them a little welcome box with a t-shirt and hat. We didn't do any of it. We just started doing that. We didn't do any of that in the beginning, right? In the beginning, we started with a phone system, an agency management system, a premium finance company, and a way to process payments, and that was it. That was literally it. The only thing I would add to that if I was you guys is I would add a CRM. So if I was starting today, I'd go CRM, AMS, premium finance, payables, and phone system. That's all you need. That's it. Like it's the bare minimum to get you to where you're trying to go. And then once you start making a lot of money, then you can add in these nifty little tools and shiny objects and that sort of thing. So the 5th thing that I would not do is I would not sign up with aggregators or clusters that have crazy exit clauses. Pay attention to the exit clauses when you sign up with clusters and aggregators, okay? What everybody does when they're trying to start, because you need markets, especially right now, it's 2023, we're filming this, and it's impossible to get appointments with some carriers. You have to go the aggregator route if you're starting, especially starting from scratch. But everybody's worried about market access. They're worried about the carriers in the beginning, but what happens is they don't pay attention to the exit clauses. You end up shooting yourself in the foot 5 years, 10 years, 20 years down the road when you're trying to sell your agency or move out of the aggregator. You can't without at least paying a huge penalty, or in some cases you can't at all. I've been actively trying to acquire agencies the last few years, and I've had 3 really good deals blow up because the seller that I was trying to acquire was in an aggregator agreement that would not allow them to sell to me or some variation of that. So I would not pay attention to the exit clauses of my aggregator agreements.